Hello folks and welcome to the Vertigo Tea Party and let's try Dark Scavengers by Sidra Games. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's going to be available for Windows and Mac for $5. You can buy it right now in the Humble Store. It's also on Steam Greenlight, so if you like what you see, make sure to head on over to Greenlight to give it the old thumbs up. I will be putting links both to the Steam Greenlight, the official sites, and to the Humble Store page so that you can purchase it if you like what you see. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, I will also say if you see any weirdness with the visuals, that's most likely my recording software had to do a little something different to get it to record properly, so just keep that in mind. One thing I've noticed, which strikes me right off the bat, is Dark Scavenger saves automatically after completing an event. Clearing your internet cache will erase saved data. I don't know if that's a good idea to have your game save data tied in with the browser cache, but oh well. I am about hour and a half-ish in. I'm on chapter 2. Now this is a self-described weird RPG. It brings to mind it makes me think of old school pen and paper Dungeons and Dragons in some way, and I'll show you how that works. Now, generally there isn't any animations for almost anything, so that's normal if you don't see animations for various things. So, first thing, the story is you fight this evil creature and you get caught, or well, saved by these 3 aliens, and they want you to help them fuel up their ship and get out, because basically they're not very good at fighting, but they're good at the more tech side, so they need you to help fight their battles. So, once you get on the planet, there will be maps like this and a lot of hotspots that you can click on. And when you highlight, it'll highlight in red. So you click on them. So this is a collapsed passage. It says no sense trying to get through here. Okay, nothing of interest there. Here we have an examine weapon racks. You can see the text at the bottom. We click on that. Several bandit weapons are lined up against the wall. None of them look particularly valuable. We also did just break into a bandit camp, because we're discovering some things are going on this planet that are not so nice. Bandits are attacking some local villagers, and we're trying to get to the bottom of that. So examine the amber cauldron. A giant cauldron filled with strange amber liquid sits in the middle of the room. If you had a container, you might be able to take some of this with you. Reach in and grab some with your hands. Use a hollow item that can carry liquid, or walk away. Now, just putting our hand in doesn't seem like a great idea. So let's see if we have any hollow items. Now, items you get from, as you might imagine, fighting enemies, exploring, etc. But the way you get the items is very interesting, and we'll see that here in just a bit. So do we have any hollow items? You can always look at the description. It will usually tell you enough about the item to know if you can use it in a particular situation. And these situations come up often where it's like, okay, there's this situation. You can try to do it the brute force way, which is probably going to hurt you in some way, or if you have an item or an ally or a weapon, you can use it in this manner to beat this or to achieve this goal. So we need something that is hollow. A glossy beaker filled with a foul-smelling liquid. I don't know if we could actually use that since it's already full. Maybe we could pour one of the healing fluids out. Let's see if we have something else. We have a newbie trap, reflection web, sweet breeze. Pleasant smelling gust of intangible air. That's probably not going to work. Let's try the healing fluid. Okay, it did work, and it will tell you if it won't work. You can collect some liquid in your healing fluid and then tuck it away. It smells putrid. All right, we got a loot, amber sample, and we'll check the loot and how that works a little bit later. It's definitely unusual the way items work in this game. Let's examine the podium. This must be what the bandits gave their inspirational plundering speeches. There's a bunch of kind of cheeky dialogue there. Oh no, there's still this. These torches glow brightly. Is there really any reason to keep them lit during the day? I don't think there would be. That's the same weapon racks, I think. Yep. Well, looks like we've actually looked at everything in here, I think. Yeah, I think that was it. All right, so now this arrow will, point us where we can go. The only direction we can go is right. anytime you finish a map, oh, it looks like we get 2 items somehow. Anytime you finish a map and you leave that screen, you're taking back to your spaceship. And you can look at the loot that you obtained. Here's the amber sample that we just got. Let's see. Now, these are the 3 aliens that rescued us and are helping us to get this energy source so that we can all flee safely. I think I've got that story right. Each of them specializes in something different. Kamaho specializes in making weapons. Bolson specializes in making items, and Gazer makes allies, which you can pull into battle to help you. And if you highlight the item first, again, I picked the amber sample, and then highlight the NPC, it'll give you an idea of what he can make. It doesn't look like this sample survived the trip over here. Shame, I would have liked to study it. Regardless, it still has some juice left in it. Doesn't sound like he can make anything that interesting with it. Paulson says, this liquid looks very toxic. I bet I could make an awesome beverage with this. And Gazer, who cannot speak by the way, suddenly throws all 4 of his arms away from himself like a big explosion. Well, that sounds pretty interesting. Let's choose Gazer. We made an amber bomby. Sweet. And for every trip you make to the ship like this, you can only use, the NPC can only make 1 item. So as you can see, Gazer is grayed out. So I have to use Kamaho or Falson to make the item. That adds an interesting twist in that you might want to look through all of your choices before you decide who's going to make what. So you have Juro's Charm. It's a small wooden bracelet blessed by Juro. It's kind of scratchy. Kamaho says, I'm not sure I can actually make anything with this. Maybe I'll just trade you for it with something of equal value. And Falson, my item is going to be awesome. Well, he says it's awesome. I have no reason to believe it's not, because, I mean, look at that face. That's the face of an honest alien if I've ever seen one. Awesome detector. Well, he's right. It detects awesome. So we hit continue. We're taken back to the next area on the map. It says 2 bandits in strange cloth garb stand around a vat of boiling water, mixing yellow powder into the churning liquid. As the amber dust hits its surface, the water begins to churn and bubble. Immediately noticing you, the bandits stop what they're doing and turn towards you and attack us with their tennis rackets, apparently. Outsider, what are you doing here? I can just say, bandit, what are you doing here? Or, I'm hunting bandits, speaking of which. Let's just try to take the peaceful route and say, bandit, what are you doing here? We're stirring the Gissa. If we don't pay attention to it, it could overflow. We could say, Gissa, what is that? Or, what happens if the Gissa overflows? Or, looks like you have a new priority, defending your life. We will say, what happens if the Gissa overflows? They say, bad things can happen. The Gissa can make the air poisonous, or sometimes take a form of its own. Very mysterious substance, this Gissa. Large bubbles begin to rise from the Gissa vat behind the bandits. Pretty sure I'm not saying this right. So it looks like it's starting to maybe overflow. I could say, Gissa, what's that? Gissa is living sand from the center of the world. If we heat it up, it becomes a powerful energy. If we do it right, we can create super Vindle, but if we mess up, it becomes just a smelly acid. It's up to us, the super smart shamans. Actually, it should be super smart shaman, grammatical fix, to perfect the process. The Gissa vat suddenly erupts, staining the air with a vile sulfuric spray. Oh, wow, that looks nice. Agile amber creatures suddenly leap onto the unsuspecting bandits, draining their life force into their acidic yellow bodies before swallowing them whole. Let's stay back and watch. Grab some popcorn. Hiking up discarded bandit bits, the curious yellow creatures wander toward the fortress entrance to explore the forest. Okay, now, one other thing to note is the developer mentioned you can actually go through this entire game without ever getting into combat. But it takes knowing specific ways to deal with specific situations. See there, I could have fought those guys, but I stalled them until the vat overran. Those creatures came out and killed them for us. So again, now we have our map, and we go back to just clicking on the various items. You can see our hit points over here. We have 81 of 100 hit points. We can drink a health potion, and oddly enough, you reset you reset your healing potion by killing enemies, I believe. That's kind of unusual, but it works out pretty well. Here's our inventory just to show everything that we have right now. And oh, here's the close button. And then our map. We can see the map of the chapter that we're in. So let's just go ahead and start clicking on items. We have decorative blankets. A stack of decorative blankets sits in a corner. Wait, the blankets are moving. Let's stick around and see what happens. The blanket pile begins to rustle and collapse as an old bandit rises from its mass. His milky eyes immediately lock onto your own, studying your structure with utmost diligence. Old bandit. Oh my, you're not from around here. How did you get here? I snuck in. No, that's not what I meant. You're a space traveler, aren't you? Did you come here on a big spaceship? Yes, how did you know? I'm a seasoned shaman who has been with the Vindil for many years. You are not the first space traveler to pass through these walls. However, I don't know how many years are left in this old body. I know you are under no obligation, but could you show this old shaman some technology he hasn't seen before? Our options are show him a modern or futuristic weapon, attack him with a modern or futuristic weapon, or say, I'm afraid not, old man. Let's be nice. Let's show him a modern or futuristic weapon. And I will actually get do some combat just so you can see it at some point. Let's see. You've got, and the weapons are just really interesting too. Like I've got these badass swords. I've got a dentist's drill, which special does extra damage to opponents that have their mouths wide open. Very interesting items. Very interesting special attributes. Mega mace, pickaxe, probably not. A vampire bat. Flashlight. A small futuristic flashlight. That sounds like he would be interested in that. Now, if you'll notice too on the left, we have uses. So if I use this ashlight to show him, I will actually use one of the uses. But we'll do that. Oh, wonderful. Let me see. The old bandit rubs his grubby hands all over it. You might want to get that disinfected. I find this quite fascinating, but perhaps you could show me something a bit less destructive? I can either say, show him a modern or futuristic item, or I'm not letting you touch anything else I have. Let's go ahead and show him the item. Oops, I clicked a little quickly, but apparently I clicked on the right thing. And also, too, if you click on something that doesn't count, up until now, it's never counted against me if I did that. It's just said, that doesn't work. And then you get to either choose again, or you can choose a different option. He says, oh, this is nice indeed. The old bandit smears his greasy hands all over it. You don't want that back. Thank you again, space traveler. Please take this. It's a piece of technology left here by another visitor, such as yourself. Maybe you'll know what to do with it. Goodbye for now. The old bandit buries himself back in the pile of closets. Of clothes, I think it said. Toy ray gun. Okay. Let's try looking at the blankets again. Okay. Usually looking at things multiple times, that doesn't really get you anywhere. Let's examine the vat. Volatile Gissa energy inhabits this rusty iron container. Let's check out the strange beakers. Those Vindel bandits were using these beakers in their experiments. The liquid inside looks unfamiliar. Let's see, drink it, have an ally drink it, or walk away. Let's have an ally drink it. And here's all our allies. Again, most of these are allies that the one alien who can't speak, you've used him to make. But you also can summon in the 3 guys who helped you from a ship. But again, they all have a limited number of uses. Kamaho, let's see. No, wait, that's not. I forget the name of the guys that are on the ship. Might have used them all up. That's one thing. Okay, there's Falson, the thin, creepy alien in business suits. He has unpredictable attacks. Gazer, a lumbering dark alien biologist who doesn't have a mouth. He has a high stun rate. See, as you can see, he has a 80% stun chance. And Kamaho is the skeleton guy with the crossbow. Will reveal a strength and weakness of a single opponent, which is, that can be kind of nice, so that you know what a certain enemy is weak to or resistant against. That's fun. Maybe not the best. We'll use this guy. A slender and fast Vindel bandit sniper. Let's use this person. Taser the Keen drinks it and then looks very sick. Yeah, let's not drink it. I don't think we want to drink of it. Let's make him sick. Examine the sealed hatch. A metal hatch seals off a passage to somewhere below. You think you hear voices below. Let's listen in. You put your ear to the hatch. You hear banging and screaming from within. Now we can attempt to pry it open the hatch. We can use a weapon to pry open the hatch or walk away. Let's use a weapon because that's probably going to be more efficient. And probably a sword would be better for that. We'll use our trusty sword. A long, jagged sword that has seen better days. Let's go ahead and use that. No luck. It's sealed tight. The scream becomes faint and then disappears completely. Uh-oh. Well, looks like we missed our opportunity. That's a shame. Well, we didn't really get much here. That's... I don't think you can... Okay. I was going to say maybe you can use an item on like an item, or maybe use an item that you have on one of these clickable things to get a different result, but not so. So we only got one item this time, which is unfortunate. Let's see what these guys say. A ray gun. Pretty typical. You think I would have made something like this for you by now. Paulson says, I'm going to cover your weapon in plastic. You can thank me later. And Gazer says, or motions, looks toward Falson. You're not sure why. So that could mean maybe he thinks I should use Falson, or maybe this will give me more uses of Falson. Because Kamaho, Falson, and Gazer all have limited number of usage, and I'm not sure how to refresh those. I don't know if it refreshes automatically when you finish a chapter or not. So let's go with Gazer. That was the one that sounds most interesting. Galson. So it looks like a combination of Gazer and Falson, perhaps. What to look at that? Whoa, hello. Many large cages are stacked beneath a tarp in the corner of the room, housing several snarling alka beasts. A small figure suddenly leaps upon the cages, gripping two fragile locks tightly in both hands. You are enslaved no longer, my forest friends. I will save you from your bandit torments. We'll let him free them. Stay back and watch what happens. Be free! Jura rips off the locks and leaps to safety. Two snarling alka beasts burst out and immediately charge towards you. That didn't work out at all. Oh yeah, now it's time to get into battle, just like I planned. It's our turn. What should we do? Well, first let's try that new item, or look at that new item we got. What was it? It was Falson? Oh, the Galson was what we got. The description says a female version of Falson. You want it to go away. Special. Galson's attacks are unpredictable. Stun chance 45%. Damage 1 to 28. That's a huge damage range. Let's go ahead and try it. We'll use this guy. Oh, good. We stunned him. Galson drops a piano on Alka Beast's head. Classic gag. The Alka Beast brings its claws across your chest. You take 10 damage. Now, a lot of weapons do more damage when an enemy is stunned, so let's see if we have one right now. Small future flashlight that overheats quickly. Now also, if you look at the bottom, and I can't really point it out with the mouse, because when I move the mouse, this just goes away. But if you look at the ash light, at the bottom it says weapon type projectile, and you can see elements, like you can see the fire elements works, or this weapon uses fire as its attack. So if you know an enemy is weak against fire, you'll want to use this. See, badass swords, high damage rates, 2 massive curved swords. It's amazing that you can wield them so efficiently. It looks like we'll probably want that. These guys have their mouths open, so let's use a dentist drill on the stunned one. 23 damage, damn, tore him up. You plunge the massive drill straight into Alka Beast's shimmering teeth. The Alka Beast knocks you over with its massive body. You take 9 damage. The Alka Beast rears back on its hind legs. Now when it's doing that, I think that means a big attack is coming, so we definitely want to finish him off. We don't need a big weapon though, so let's use our trusty sword. Alright. The trusty sword gives Alka Beast B a nasty cut. The Alka Beast brings its claws across your chest. You take 8 damage. It's my turn. What will I do? Let's check our items. We haven't used. What's the awesome detector do? Description. It kind of looks like a metal detector. Kinda. Special. Detects awesomeness. Well, let's use it and see what happens. You turn on the awesome detector. Okay. It's your turn. What will you do? Let's see. Let's use the Amber Bomber. Fast-moving explosive zombie who was once a resident of a nearby village. May hit all enemies instead of just one. Well, I don't want to use that right now then, because I only got one enemy. Slow-moving zombie who was once a resident of a nearby village. So it has a high miss rate, but it does good damage. Let's go ahead and try that. No? Not too bad. Rotten zombie teeth bite down hard into Alka-Beast A's skull. Alka-Beast bites into your flesh. You take 6 damage. I love this description text, by the way. I love there's a lot of descriptions. Given how many items there are, it's pretty awesome to see all these various descriptions of what your attacks are doing. And I actually do read them. Even when I'm not doing this, I read them because I find it interesting. Let's see. A vampire bat. A long metal bat which conceals 2 tiny fang-like barbs. Drains opponent's health and heals you. Let's go ahead and hit him with a vampire bat. Oh, and it's missed with the vampire bat. You totally missed that time. The Alka-Beast bites into your flesh. You take 5 damage. I like this attack music as well. Often I want to stun the enemy. Let's try the female version of Galson. Wow, 19. Galson drops a piano on Alka-Beast A's head. Classic gag. A branding iron lies within one of the cages. You reach in and take it as a prize. The branding iron. Okay, let's take a look around. So you're starting to see the kind of the pattern of this, and there is boss fights. I did have a boss fight. It was pretty easy, but that was just the first one. But this is pretty much the pattern of how things go in this game. Rows upon rows of large cages containing Alka-Beasts are stacked here. Best not to get near these. Oh, I want to get near them. I want terrible things to happen. A stack of empty animal kennels. That's one on the top. An empty animal kennel. Wait, there's something in this one. Let's look closer. A tiny Kimusa pushes its head against the bars, peering toward you sadly. Let's let it out. Ah, son of a bitch. The Kimsa bites your face and runs away. Little bastard. Yeah, I know. Alright, let's go ahead and heal. And we do have healing items as well. I haven't gotten really close to death so far. But let's see. Let's check out this animal fighting ring. Looks like the bandits found a clever way to use spare captured animals. Classy. Examine the first aid table. A first aid kit rests on the table. Probably used to patch up wounded animals. Let's take it for later. You tuck it away. Okay, we got a first aid kit. Peven cage. There's a large cage swarming with pevens. Several villager skeletons lie at the bottom. Let's look closer. You see a pair of nifty looking boots at the bottom of the cage, but those pevens don't look very friendly. Shake the cage to rile them up. Stand back and open the cage, or walk away. Let's shake the cage. That sounds like a very smart idea. Well, the pevens are annoyed. Continue shaking the cage to rile them up, or stand back and open the cage, or walk away. Let's rile them up even more. The pevens are going nuts. Let's continue shaking it. Oh dear God in heaven. This might have been a bad idea. Continue shaking the cage. The pevens couldn't possibly be riled up anymore. The bandits attack. I wonder if I left them out, if they would have attacked the bandits. They might have. I just wanted to see what would happen. What do? You got a crossbow guy. Actually, you know what? I have a... Where is it? Reflection web. A springy net coated in unnatural rainbow dew. Special. Reflects up to 25 damage from a single projectile attack. Well, since we got a projectile user, let's go ahead and use the reflection web. You hold the sparkling web in front of your body. And we have another turn. Let's go ahead and use the Amber Bomby on the Shaman. Arrogant bandit that harnesses the power of Gisa to enhance his attacks. Ah, sweet. We stun this guy and did 12 damage to him. Nice. Amber Bomby explodes, sending your enemies flying. You barely evade a crossbow bolt as it enters the ground by your feet. Let's go ahead and attack him with the badass swords. Finish him off. You quickly spin around, dicing a shaman bandit with your huge badass swords. Sweet. Ha. Your reflection whip bounces Sniper Bandit's projectile back into him. Nice. Killed by his own arrow. It appears that the Pevins tore through their cage while you were fighting the bandits. As the remaining Pevins fly away, you carefully retrieve the boots from the bottom of the cage. You might want to clean those out first. Old boots. Old Pevin shit-filled boots is probably what they should be called. Looks like we got everything else in this area. Perhaps, yes, maybe. Alright. Let's see what we've got here. Branding iron. Yamaha, can you do with this? I feel terrible for any animal on the receiving end of this. Let's use its heat power against the bandits. So this probably creates some kind of fire attack. Paulson, you know what else is long and hard? A lightning rod. Wow. Gazer pretends to breathe fire on you. The fire is make-believe, but you are still hit by Gazer's foul breath. And let's hit the old boots. Kamaho, these boots have lots of exposure to feet. I bet it could make a weapon that targets enemy legs. Why are you looking at me like that? Paulson gets one whiff of the boots and passes out. Gazer jumps up and lands with both feet on the ground. It shakes the ship a little. Let's go ahead and have him make the weapon. The Toho and the branding iron. Let's go ahead and give it to Paulson. The lightning rod. Well, hey, he flat out just told us what he was going to make. The bandits in this room are having a wild and crazy party. They appear too drunk to even notice you. So yeah, I think that's enough to give you an idea about this game. I have to say, I really like it. I really like the presentation. It gives me the feel of playing pen and paper Dungeons and Dragons with the way the descriptions work, with how it's not just you hit enemy with iron sword for 6 damage. Enemy claws you for 5 damage. You block. It's much more descriptive, and I really like that. I love the funny descriptions. I like the funny items like the dentist drill and the toe hold, or the Toho, I think is what it was called. And it's just a very funny, tongue-in-cheek type of game. I really like that cheesy humor. And it's just fun to play. I really like exploring the areas, getting items, and I love the aspect of taking them and you can give them to different NPCs and you have a rough idea what you might get, but you're not 100% sure. So I'm really liking this game so far. And for $5, I think that's, if you find this even remotely interesting, I think $5 is a ridiculously low price for this game. So if you are into RPGs at all, and especially if you enjoy playing pen and paper games, I would absolutely suggest this. Again, for $5, this is a no-brainer. And like I said, I think I've already put an hour and a half into it, maybe, to get to the point that you're seeing me at now. So I really don't have any doubts that you'll get your money's worth. I forget how many chapters. I'm not even going to guess. I want to say the game had at least 3 chapters. I think it had more. I meant to jot that down. Also, they said they've put things in to add replayability. Like there's going to be things that players are going to miss the first time through, but if you play through again and make different options, you will get different outcomes. And they even said that there's a secret boss that you had to do a very specific sequence to unlock. Now, I don't know how many people would be into trying to figure that out. Most people will probably just look up online how to access that secret boss. But it's cool that it exists, and it would be nice, and maybe it does hint at some point. Maybe like at the end, maybe it hints how you do that. Because if it's just completely random to the player, like no player would ever guess that sequence, that would kind of suck. But if at the ending, maybe they hint like there was this great dark force, and we missed it because we didn't do this. So just again, some kind of hint to at least point you in the right direction. That would be good. But again, it's cool that it even exists. And I also think it's really neat that they purposely made it so that you could beat the entire game without getting into combat at all. I think that would be a fun challenge on its own, to go through and try to find the options to not get into combat. Granted, it's semi-random. Like it's now some options are obvious when you say, like the bandits we talked to earlier, if I chose the I'm just going to wipe you out option, obviously you're going to get into combat. Other things like shaking the cage, like I guess I could have skipped the cage entirely to avoid combat, but I don't know if there was any other way if we wanted to get those boots to avoid combat, or to avoid combat. So maybe if we shook them up just to enough to anger the bandits and then let them loose, maybe they would have killed the bandits and then flew away. That would be cool. But again, that's going to be a little bit trial and error. Some people have more patience for that than others. But I do think there's like, even if you play it once, it seems like it's gonna be worth the $5. But if you're the type who wants to play through multiple times, try different things, then I absolutely, without question, think you'll get your money's worth. So anyway, that was Dark Scavenger. Again, I will put links to the Steam Greenlights and to their official page so that you can purchase it for $5 if you like what you see. As always, thank you guys for watching. Like my videos if you like them. If you like this video and you'd like to see more of these Let's Tries where I bring games to your attention that you might not have known about, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.